Okay, so today we're going to take Woody into the woods with both dogs, the Flushing Patterdale and the pointing German Wirehead Pointer. Woody's weight is down, he's got a soft nature about him, he seems quite relaxed. We've got Woody's telemetry on, and this is my little routine that works for us. I've got this little leash here not to be used for tethering hawks. In no way should you be using those for tethering hawks or dog clips. Just use traditional falconry equipment. So we've got the telemetry on, so the next thing I do is find the flying jesses, and I'm just going to clip on to the flying jesses with this little leash here, because he's got his telemetry. If he does go, we can find him. He's getting a little edgy at the moment. I don't know quite why, but something's going on in his head. Once he's had a little bait, if he has a bait, he'll be okay. There you go. I thought he was going to do that. He's settled down now, so I've got him in the safety position, even though I've got him on the leash as well. Remove all the bits and pieces now. So I'm now getting his flying jesses secure, and then remove the Muse jesses. And we have him now transferred from perch to glove with flying jesses secure. So it's a bit of a handful when you've got two dogs and a hawk doing all this stuff, but you get used to doing things one-handed. Good boy, stay. Get in. I'll open that up for you. Keep the hawk nice and low, and he goes in there like that. Come on in. Right, so this is a routine. Get the hawk out. So he's on this, just this little clip now, like a lobster claw, and I'll just release him. But it's on there like that, so it's secure as well. Stay, stay. Just check everything's safe. Come on in. Come on. You can come. So this piece of wood here, later on in the season, will have pheasants in it for the pointer to point, and we might get some flights off the fist. But for now, we're just having a dog walk, and I'll probably put the hawk up in a little while. There are rabbit along that edge. So we get the Patterdale in there, the little flashing dog. Sometimes the little flashing dog will put a rabbit out into the woodland, and we get a flight through the wood, which is quite an interesting flight when you do get it like that. You see the hawk working in and out there pretty good at sharp corners and navigating through a wood. It's a good time of year as well, because we start to get some fungus, which I often put in the videos, as you've probably seen. So I'm always on the lookout for funguses growing, and I just look at everything, nature, see what I can see. For me, there's no better place to be than outside like this. So we're in a real thick wood here, so we're working on boughs now. So I'm not going to be able to see the hawk. The hawk does know the dogs are working for him, and here we have a lot of chestnuts, so I'll be back here at a later stage. It's a hawk moving on just there. Right, just need the tracking gear out to give me a direction. That's what happens when you're flying in a wood like this. You're not always going to be getting a visual. Over in these woods here now, so we haven't lost Woody. This is just part of it when you're doing this sort of flying with loads of trees everywhere. I was talking to my mate yesterday about GPS and you know, the way that these technologies help, and we was having a little discussion that, you know, should you use GPS? Is it sort of old school falconry? Well, it is and it isn't, because we wouldn't even be using trackers if we wanted to keep traditional. It would be boughs, just using boughs. There's Woody. And reading the environment. So, you know, time moves, technology moves on. And these take the worry out of falconry for sure, because although he went away there, I weren't worried. If I'd have had to read the environment looking for crows, jackdaws mobbing him and pigeons going up, it would have been a little bit more difficult. And the GPS system, I would love one, but the price of them, I'm not going to be able to afford that these days. There's Woody up there. He's going over to his favourite tree now. One day that's going to fall over and it won't be there. Yeah, the GPS system, talking about the peregrines that are using them, and he was just telling me a little story where one of his mates' peregrines only a couple of days ago went off, and there was absolutely no worry at all. You could see where it was down to the finest point, and they could see it travel 6 miles during that little time they had to go and collect it. But with the tracking gear, the telemetry, you just got directions and you don't really know how far you're walking. You could be walking 20 meters, 100 meters, half a mile, 2 miles. You're just going on a direction and turning the gain down as you go. But the beauty of the GPS, just look on your phone, you can see where your hawk is. You can see what wood it's in. So I think it's a fantastic thing that falconry moves on. But of course, people that have started falconry when they were 16 and are now in their 60s, sometimes they like to keep traditional. But we was just having that little conversation about all this stuff. So I'm going to walk through these stingers now and see if we can do a bit of traditional sort of beating. It's a bit harsh for the dogs. Can't blame Willow. She don't want to come in here. She's going to get stung. She knows that. So she'll hang around out there, maybe work her way in. But the hawk's up there. Let's see if we can get him some dinner. Let's see. This used to be alive with rabbits here, but something seems to have changed this season. I'm hoping that it's just the way it's been unlucky, but normally what he has a catch most times is out here. You've got to be a bit of a team player in it. If I'm not getting anything moving for him, well then what's my use? I'm only here in his eyes to give him food. No other reason. Am I handy or am I not handy? Okay, let's see what he's like in his response. Look at that, I haven't even called him. So there's what your hawk should be like. And he snatched that and took it out of my hand, which is what I wanted to talk about. As I was asked that question, my hawk snatched food. Well, the hawk wants to get back up in the tree and hunt, but he also wants a bit of food. So to stop that, he's coming already, but hide it in your glove tight and let him have to pull it out like that. So he can't snatch it, and then he'll stay there. But if their weight is up and they don't want to sit on your fist like they do at a lower weight, they can also snatch and fly off. You see this hawk now? That's what you want. Otherwise you will be chasing them all over the place. So I'm squeezing that bit of food now. He's having to pull that out. Now he's got it. He thought about flying off then, but he's quite happy. Now we're just going to walk along and he's going to go when he wants to go. But if his weight had been up, he wouldn't sit on there like that, he would go. We're now going to go along this hedgerow and see if Woody follows on. It's narrow, so he should do. He shouldn't go left, he shouldn't go right, he should follow. Patterdale's going to work through there. Pointer will point. There's Woody following on. Now that is perfect. That's just what you want. And you might be at a stage where it seems like it's not happening and you think, how can I get this hawk following? It's just about manning and weight. Like I say, you find the weight, don't go too far from it at first, and then as the season goes on, you start to read your hawk, get to know your hawk, and then just build that weight up. And if you see it being a bit sluggish, take it down a little bit, and when it's following on, if you go too low, it'll be on your shoulder trying to look in your bag, and that's what you don't want. Look at that, see, beautiful. You look at that compared to the last video, and there's literally, what have I took off him? Just over ½ ounce, probably, that's all. Maybe even slightly less. So because he's like that, he's going to get more food. He saw me go into my pouch then, and he started moving before I called him. So this reaction now will remain. Doesn't matter what I feed him. Doesn't matter what I feed him on this hunt, because he's going to store it in his crop. So he still had the same attitude. But he's actually sticking with us today anyway. look at that, see? That's what you call a spot on hawk. We've had rabbit out of here before. We need a little patterdale. We're going to work through all this stuff over here. So I want to move him on, so I'll hold the glove up and then remove the glove. In fact, if he wants to lift, he'll have a lift. He did. He's chosen not to fly all the way over there. Come on in. I don't feed him from the ground. So look, he don't want to come up because he knows he's not going to get fed. He only gets fed from a tree. So he's walking. Come on, Woody. He will fly when he gets a bit further away from us. Great cover when the pheasants are out. Here he comes. Doing what a buzzard does. Standing in the field. Of course, he's not super fit yet. I will call him back to my glove because I want to do a bit off the fist along here. And that was, it's not like he's flying to my feet for food. We don't normally feed him from the ground there, so I'm squeezing that bit of food. He may fly. Yep, he's okay. Sometimes when you go to grab the jesses, they will launch and go. So now we're doing a little bit off the fist. So we've just got his jesses. We'll have a little creep up to that hedge up there. There's another field behind there. This is a narrow hedge. And see if there's anything behind there. That's okay. I should have. Wow. So the hawk now, he's got his mind going. He's just seen that pheasant, so he's not going to be so loyal now because he's hoping he's going to see it again. You can see now what that little thing done to the hawk. So I'm going to walk off. I'm going to go along this hedge. The dogs are in here, still on the scent of that pheasant. But that hawk has definitely had a little moment there of, yes, this is what it's all about. And I always look when I'm walking along at fields, you can see there, that's an old part of a shire's shire horse that would have been ploughing these fields many years ago, and often you find bits and pieces when you're walking along, so I'm always scouting. Been here before, and it's a rabbity area, so we'll have a little look. We'll put the dogs up, walks up there somewhere, see if we can get something moving within this chalk mound. Farmers use chalk to help with clay soil. It's the lime, so usually on some of the farms down this way you get this chalk piles, and you get a few rabbits around. Lovely. Pheasant, cock pheasant. Oh, lost it. Oh well. Reward Woody for that. Or has he still got it? And there was 2. No. I'm going to call that a day now. Give Woody a nice reward. So Chewy's in there with the hawk. No trouble at all. No, hang on. It looks to me, has he just got a handful of tail? Yeah, just a load of feathers. But we're going to feed him up now, and that's it for the day. Finish on a good note. Woody. Okay, Woody, let's go home. We're walking back into the wind now. Look what hawk. Wings are out. Hard work. Pop a hood onto them. You see the difference. So now look. Wings in, just sit there, look at that, what a difference. So hood off. Wings are coming out already, look. So there's a reason you're doing this sort of hawking, to try to get your hawk used to a hood. It makes life so much easier. You can just keep doing that in the wind, but having a hood really does help. Step. Good lad. Good lad. This is what I was saying in the last video about if he was that hungry, he would have come down for food. So he's flying weight and he's hunting lovely, and he's spot on following me on, as you saw. Like he's an ounce heavier because of the weather. He just doesn't want to get wet. He's quite happy. He's not that hungry. But that's Woody for you. That's what he does when it rains. And what I'm not going to do is take him lower so he works better in the wet, because that would be wrong. He's already at his flying weight. He's working well. He's at the same weight as he was when he was chasing them pheasants and following on. He's just doesn't want to get wet. So he's keeping his wings and feathers all pulled in, and the water's just beading off of him. Absolutely ignoring me. That's okay, I don't mind. It's not even wet at all. Actually looks like it's stopping. Let's carry on anyway, see what he does. Camera lens is getting a bit steamed up now. I've just seen him chase a pigeon over into that tree down there.